it's time to adjust those shoulder pads, backcomb what's left of your hair, and jump into the DeLorean for a look back at what's possibly the best decade anyone could ever have grown up in.
Shall we play a game?
This is Bring Back the 80s with your hosts James Alderson and me, Andy Jackson. Welcome to another edition of Bring Back the 80s.
Yep.
Number 5.
Is it?
Number 5.
No.
Have you noticed, James, that every single time we come and record a podcast, we get the hottest weather in the world ever?
Yeah, I've been thinking, should we do it naked? I think, we'll find a lot more people start watching.
Yeah, that's your kind of...
Or maybe they'll stop watching.
Yeah, it's one of it. Maybe that'd be, but if we do the naked edition, we'll make that the one that doesn't go on YouTube. That'd probably be the way forward.
Yeah, we'll go on Pornhub with that one.
Thank you for taking part in all the stuff that we got up to last time. We had a mystery sound, which we will reveal very shortly as to what that was.
Yes.
All excellent prizes. A super soft Bring Back the 80s t-shirt to be won. Are they soft and gorgeous?
Yeah, aren't they? That's weird. But yeah, it is lovely. And nobody's claimed theirs yet. I'm offended. But it's how very 21st century. Just get in touch. If you do win tickets and you do win a T-shirt, please help us. We've got thousands of these. And 4 listeners. No, we've got 5 listeners. I counted them. And just come to the shows and claim your tickets. People just like the glory of winning, getting the sound right on our podcast episode.
We always like to say it's the taking part, not the winning. But if you do win, you get one of these.
Why not?
All you got to do is claim it. Or you can go and see James's Bring Back the 80s tour, which is going to be all over the place before long, isn't it, James?
It is. It's next month. I'm a little bit scared, but the Haven't is basically sold out. But if you want to come to some lesser known places like Portsmouth, then there are some tickets there. But you might win them if you guess this week's sound.
This big touristic sound. So we'll do that for you very shortly as well. Thank you to everybody who took part for the last one. I can say that, and I love the way that because people are sort of commenting on YouTube and sort of like leaving messages, we get usernames rather than real names. So I had like Zagnit, who guessed that the little teeny tiny snippet of music that we did last time was Baby Come Back.
Oh.
I think it was Pato Banton.
Yes, wow.
Pato Banton.
Classic, yeah.
That was wrong. William Esther, a real name, said it could have been Tom Petty.
Right.
And a song called Breakdown. That did pique my interest. So I had to Google it and go on YouTube, and it could have been.
Could it?
But it was not.
But it wasn't.
Was not. Correct guesses came in from Sam, Jowick, and somebody by the very well-named Walking Through Worlds.
Ah, yes.
As
know him well, yes.
At the end of this podcast, as we did our last time round, we shall put up on the screen, literally in big lights, the winner of this one. But let me just give you a little cheeky reminder of what the last week's one was. It went like this. It was a teeny tiny...
Stop it.
Teeny tiny little clip.
Yeah.
And I have to say, as always...
Yeah. Can we have that at the end of every one of my jokes, please?
He's off. We're off and running. At the end of the day, I did say that somebody will get it. We have had lots of correct guesses. As I say, the very end of the podcast, if you keep going all the way through, just as we say goodbye and see you next time, see you next Tuesday, your name will come up in lights. And as we say, please do get in touch to claim your ticket or your T-shirts. This was not Tom Petty. It was George Michael.
Was Careless Whisper. Hey, so we've all done it. Yes, and as I say, I remember that coming on, straight after S Express or whatever it might have been, Brother Beyond, and then you would have gone to Brother Beyond. And then you'd go, where is she? I had her up earlier and she didn't growl or look angry, so I'm going to go wear her down. And that was lovely, wasn't it? You knew as soon as that saxophone kicked in, game on.
It was just 50-50 whether you were going to be there or not.
Was that what the odds was? I wish it was 50-50.
Maybe that's me and my wishful thinking.
No, you obviously had a different return rate to me.
I'm going to be hating for saying this, but I always went for quantity rather than quality.
Oh, okay.
Is that a bad thing?
No, I don't know. Any quantity would be good.
Today. But anyway, so that was last week. That was the fact that we're on it was a record as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of tied in with this week's theme, which is going down Woolworths.
Yeah, why not?
Checking out the top 40.
It was just such a big thing. The top 40, I don't think, do they even do it now? I don't know. I'm sorry, I touch, but it was, you tuned in. You listened to Radio 1, waited on a Sunday, was it a Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
On
Sunday
top 40.
afternoon, yeah.
You held your fingers over the play and record, ready to hit it on your, whatever it was, record it. And if you're like me, try and miss the DJ voice so you could sell it to your mates on Monday morning at school.
Bit that we, as DJs, hate.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Oh. Sorry, Andy.
I think you tune in for us, but it's just a sad...
I just turn the volume down when the bloke's talking, turn it up when he's just about to stop talking. And it was just great. I think between Thursday night, Top of the Pops, and Sunday night, the Top 40, and then that Saturday window to go to Woolies or wherever it might be, our price or whatever, that was like most of your week captivated in music. And I was one of those who loved the music. I loved the tune, loved the melody, the harmony, whatever it was, the bass line. And my wife loves all the lyrics. So she's do you know people like this? You get a song and they just sat next to you in the car, barreling out all the words. You just please, I'm trying to listen to this tune. Listen to that bass line. And she's like, oh, shut up. But anyway, it's something's triggered me there. But yes, so and actually in most of these, whoops, hello, leaflet just dropped there. It tried to come towards me there as I went to grab it. And you'd open up those cassettes, all the record sleeves, and they'd have all the lyrics in. I mean, that was like you'd won the lottery, wasn't it?
There's a lot of guessing going on as well, wasn't there, at the time? If you had one where it wasn't there, people would there would be, I mean, there was no online.
No.
But people would literally be scribbling down in notebooks what the lyrics were and then comparing it the next day to see if their friends thought it was the same.
Yeah, for about a month I thought it was Papa Don't Breach.
A fly landed on your head.
I'm keeping it there, if that's all right, because he likes to stay with me. It's a pet, and but he's free to roam. He comes and goes, but he knows what I smell like. So, but yeah, for about a month I thought it was Papa Don't Breach. I thought he was like a midwife on the side or something trying to fix it. I remember saying it to my auntie, Papa Don't Breach, and she said, "What are you singing there? It's Preach." I was like, "No, it's Breach. What are you talking about?" So yeah, you're right, guessing the lyrics, but if you found a cassette or the sleeve with all the lyrics in, you felt like you were the legend of that track, singing along to it, playing it through. Great. Magic.
It's a thing as well, where like the lyrics were, this seems unimaginable now, but like to actually print the lyrics, somebody would say, "Oh, we're going to have you for copyright. Those are our lyrics." And now, of course, everybody's just making, YouTube little skits and stuff with the lyrics. But it was it's such different times. Not only did you have to some of the time guess the lyrics, write them down, do that, or wait till you actually bought the thing and looked in there. Music was so inaccessible compared to what we got now with Spotify, Amazon Music. You just turn on whatever you want in the world that you've ever heard you can just Shazam it and think, okay, I want that. Then you had to save up, and you would have to go down Woolworths after you'd heard it on Top of the Pops, and that would be your thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you start looking. I mean, now kids they find a track they like, and it tells them what else they're going to like. You're going to like this, am I? Yes, you are. Watch it. And we were like, well, I've bought this one single, and you were just in the middle of a wasteland then. You didn't know who else you might like until you heard it on Top of the Pops or on Radio 1 or walking through Woolies. They might be playing it in the record department. Do you remember that when you go into the record department, you look down the charts, you go and search for it in the racking, then you had to go to the record desk, the separate desk where you had to show them the sleeve or the cassette, and they go through the back and they'd bring it back out. Carnage, and kids wouldn't put up with that now, having to go somewhere, then go somewhere else, and then go anyway.
There were record shops as well where you would have listening booths, wouldn't you? And you would go in, and this just again seems so bizarre. If there was a new album out or something, but you weren't quite sure, because obviously you weren't able to sample it online, but you knew that there was a new, whatever album out, Brother Beyond or or whatever, you would have to go into the shop. You would say, "Please, can I have a listen to this?" And they would give you the record to play, and you put headphones on and a little listening booth. Not that I was particularly into Wham, that was just an example.
No, Brother Beyond
came up. But yeah, that would be how you discover new music, by listening in a booth in a hot and sweaty record shop on a Saturday afternoon.
I think it came out of London late 80s, that, because it might have been an early thing in the Big Smoke, but in Portsmouth,
take a while to reach.
Late 80s. I mean, they were heavy booths, weren't they? So they had to lift them onto a truck and get them down there. And I remember the first ones in HMV, but they were like towers then, so you had to take off the headsets, and they never bloody worked, did they? The sensor had to know that you lifted it up, and then you were listening to something on there. And but yeah, kids listen. The thing I find is quite a nice coincidence is kids listen to all the music on their phones now, And I remember listening to music on our phone. But you'd have to dial up. If you said to kids, we had to phone a number and you get about 9 seconds of the top 5 or whatever it was. Yeah, I think there were all sorts of knockoffs, but you'd see it in an advert in the rear of the newspaper or something, and it would be like, dial this number and hear the cricket scores or something, or the time. Such a complicated thing. What time is it? Well, phone up. And I actually remember doing that as a kid.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have a watch on and there was no clocks about, or clock towers. So like really in medieval times. And you dial up and hear the time and go, oh shit, I'm late.
That was the time that I nearly got arrested. In fact, I think
another time.
I think I was arrested, but I think I was de-arrested afterwards because I was getting to school in London and I didn't know what the time was.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of London.
Yeah.
And I thought the best way to find out what the time is would be to look in every car windows see if I could see the clock on the dash. However, the detectives who were staking out all the cars did not believe that was what I was going to do.
No, because you were sat in the Cortina at the time. Just had to get a closer look at the clock.
Didn't have watches.
No.
Watches.
Well,
we had no way of knowing what was going on.
Weirdly, I did have a Swatch watch, but it was massive and hanging on my bedroom wall. Do you remember that? Massive, just hanging there. I was like, I mean, how fat am I really going to get? And if I'd known, I could have kept that, and I'd probably fit into it now. Obviously, this Fisher-Price record player was the first records that I remember. Late 70s, early 80s. I don't know what tunes they play. Probably not Kylie. Is it? Is it? Oh, okay. It might be top 10 of the time, but I love that. Everybody remembers it. Full set of records there. So feel free to borrow that later. And I'll show you this, because if you couldn't afford to go down to Woolies and look at the charts and buy something, you might any time now have a chance of getting a record on the front of your cereal box. Do you remember when you used to actually win stuff in cereal boxes? Yeah. Inside it. I mean, these were stuck to the outside and no one nicked them. And these are cracking, I don't know what this is, but mega hits of the 80s or whatever. And Tony the Tiger on it, and it would be stuck to the front and they didn't nick them off it. My mate nearly choked to death on a Papa Smurf that he swallowed in Bugs and Frosties. But they actually put the toy in amongst the cereal. You tip it into your bowl and it would fall in the cereal.
That was all you were after, to be honest, wasn't it? This is Hickory Dickory Dock, by the way.
Is it? That was about number 3 in 1981, I think, that one. Let me see if I can find this leaflet, because there's a classic leaflet down here. No, it's down your side. Yeah, you're right down on the floor. You're a bit more lithe than me. Oh, hello. You're right.
Bear with me.
Seamless. See, that's got. The reason I don't want to lose that is it's music videos, and it's got £1 off on the back, and it is valid until January 1988. So we got to.
Every little help.
When we get that DeLorean, we'll sort that. But that was the next thing that I remember.
It'd be a lot of money as well.
£1. I mean, you could probably get. Well, let's see what have I got in here. Mind you, it's quite pricey. Some of these are videos. You see, you got to remember it's videos, and they were quite pricey, $9.99 here. But being able to see the music videos, take them home and play them. We've got Status Quo there from Havant Hypermarket. We've got Wham! The video. And this is all the time with MTV, wasn't it? So if you were watching the people in the videos playing the music and singing along, it was like, wow, God, let's play this from start to finish. How long is this video? I bet you it goes on forever. No, 21 minutes, 10 quid. What a rip-off. 21-minute music video of Wham! For $9.99.
Remember having the Michael Jackson one, the one he did with the Thriller as well. I think that was 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It went on forever and ever and ever.
He liked a long one. Yep. Record music, he liked lots of that sort of stuff. But yeah, when they brought out the music videos, that was a new chart, and I remember it just stacking out the sides, and you just go on a hunt. There's nothing worse than you get the sleeve out, or you get the cassette, and you take it to the desk, and they say, "No, sorry, we haven't got any of those." Just for Christ's sake. That's why
you go to the video shop, isn't it? You wanted that particular video that was out.
Yeah. And
the chances are that unless you got in there first thing as soon as it opened, no chance.
No chance, especially in Blockbuster. They were rubbish. Wonder why they went bust. But it's best time. And I used to just love going down to the high street Saturday mornings, because Saturday was a shopping adventure, wasn't it? So you'd go down Saturday mornings.
The adventure is maybe too much of a grand word.
There wasn't much else on, was there? But you watched it Saturday, right? Okay, let's clarify. Thursday nights you had your 6 o'clock news, wasn't it? just 7 o'clock Top of the Pops, 7:30 EastEnders, 8 o'clock was Tomorrow's World, and then 8:30. No, I'm not a sad case, Andy. 8:30, you either probably had Question of Sport or Wish You Were Here.
And then after 9 o'clock, it was the Watershed, and anything would go.
It was my bedtime.
Yeah.
And remember, I was only 9 in the 80s. And but yes, we can watch the end of Tomorrow's World, and that's it. Look, it's going to be Flying Cars by 1993. Lying Cow. Maggie Philbin again. Yeah, so it was a cracking. Thursday nights was a brilliant night for TV. And then Friday night, obviously, was party night. I don't know what you had, Cagney and Lacey, Cell Block 8, all that stuff. And then Saturday morning, bang, off you went, down Woolies. You'd have your 11s, probably, because you were there with your nan. Not you. And then...
I thought in feeding my own children by then.
Taking your own kids down the shops. And then maybe get fish and chips on the way home. But just looking forward to opening up the lid on your mum's old sideboard. Do you remember when they had records were part of the sideboard? And then putting that record down. Turn that rubbish off. Sorry. Or if you were really lucky, you'd have a Memorex cassette player or a Walkman and pop it in there and just try not to get the ribbon ripped out of it as you were playing it. That sound, I mean, that sums up technology in the 80s. Close your cassette player and play through.
That is a very good point to stop for this week's new mystery sound.
Oh, Christ, okay.
While we're on the subject of technology.
Easy for you to say. Cut back on the whiskies before broadcast, please.
I think we should do, not only naked edition, we should do a piston naked edition.
Well, you could be sober for one of them. That would be a brilliant change.
So this is this week's mystery sound.
Yeah.
If you know what this is, let us know in the comments. You can leave us a voice note, all the usual way. If you want to find the best ways to contact us, bringbackthe80spodcast.com. There is links to all our socials, the Instagram, the TikTok.
Relentless.
We're blowing up on YouTube as well.
Are we? I'm inflating, I think, is the people looking at it going,
This is the sound. Here it comes.
Go on.
Is that
a turkey?
Triggering memories, yeah.
I think that's a turkey. But it's, yes, it is. It is triggering. It is, and quite frustrating just hearing that. Look, thinking back now, thinking about how we just panicking when you remember my mobile is as I'm thinking about it all.
Don't be giving it away, would you?
No, I'm not going to give it away. Why would I give it away? It's nothing to do with it. And it's fax machine. No, just part of the patience that you had to have. You know, do you remember you'd play your tape in your tape player and you'd realise you were about 2 songs in, realising that it actually wasn't the side you wanted. So you have to take it out, turn it round, put it in, rewind, start playing again. And then, it's suddenly every track sounds like Barry White because the batteries are going. You've got to go and find more double A's. You've got to go back. You put the cassette back in the wrong way. You've got to rewind it again. Then the bloody batteries are again. You just... It's like, and know what? Kids have no patience now, but we had to have patience with every single bit of technology we ever used.
It was all very, very special. Have you noticed the evolution of headphones as well, or earphones?
Yeah.
Because when phones, when mobile phones came out, it was like the earbuds and things like that.
Yeah.
Now it's all about the big headphones.
Yeah.
The big headphones were a thing back in the 80s. It was a big headphone era.
I think it's since we've been doing this podcast,
Maybe
kids have seen it. They're watching us thinking we want to be cool like them. I'm quite pleased with it actually because it pisses me off when you're trying to talk to a kid, because I get talked to lots of kids, and for all the right reasons, and not to be 80s in that theme. He's on the telly. He loves the 80s. Where is he? He's in the playground. No. So he's. But when they've got those little ones in, especially with my boys who've got long hair, I'm talking to them full sentences.
Do not know.
They're not answering me. They're just turning. Well, maybe they haven't got anything playing and they're just not answering me. But it's a great excuse, isn't it? I got my headphones in. But we had those orange ones. Do you remember the orange spongy headphones? They were the basic ones, weren't they? They came with most of these things. Loved those. They are classics. And now they do Bluetooth versions. I mean, the world's gone mad.
It'll be built into our bodies before we know it.
No,
it's got to be
there's no room in mine.
It's got to be the next thing.
Yeah.
So Woolworths, we were saying that you would go down there for your top 40. Obviously, Woolworths at Christmas as well.
Done.
Remember the TV adverts that they used to do for that? They went off
Spectaculars.
hours with every single British celebrity in it that you've ever heard of.
The Crankies.
literally all the the A-listers.
Yeah.
But they would like book 2 or 3 minute TV ads. So when we do, when we sort of get a little bit closer to Christmas, we can dig out some of those Woolworths ads.
Yeah, I've got a couple of adverts behind me. I can't turn. There's the blank tapes at Christmas that Woolies promoted. They took out an advert in the magazine to sell blank tapes. I mean, I'll be honest, if you didn't get a pack of blank tapes in your stocking at Christmas, you felt robbed, didn't you? Just the perfect stocking filler because they took up half of it.
What I wanted to know was that what was everybody doing with these blank tapes? Because at the same time as those adverts were there, next to those adverts for blank tapes, there was Home Taping is Killing Music.
Yes.
Adverts from the Performing Rights Society saying don't take music. So what everybody was doing with all these blank cassettes that they were selling,
no,
God only knows.
Well, they were filling stockings. But I used to record radio and avoiding the DJ voice, basically.
As everybody does.
Do you want to look in my special lunchbox?
All right. James's special surprise.
Well, it's because we're on music, because we're talking about music and all those exciting things. No, I keep wanting to open it. You open it. All right. So I do. Oh, well, I don't know. I've forgotten since. But it's been an hour or two. I thought we'd keep it on a music trend. And I'm wondering if you remember these. There's one for me and one for you, so don't be selfish and take it home. But it's a little sweetie whistle. Do you remember them?
I do remember these. These were the bane of every parent's life.
They weren't. I don't think they were Chupa Chups. And something in my memory makes me think they didn't even have wrappers on. But I may be deluded.
It's a different world, but
they're a different colour now. They were red. They were definitely red, but maybe they're not allowed to use as much colouring.
Are these going to work?
I think they will. Yes. Oh God. Can you use yours busted?
I think mine's broken.
Well, mine's extending perfectly.
Story of your life, James. That's good. No,
Can you not slope your thing out?
Mine is just stuck in the one position.
It's the yellow bit at the end.
Is that
Come on, get with the programme. Go on. We just sound like 70s clangers now, and it's really not on theme.
Hours of fun now.
Well, the problem was you lick it so much that it got smaller.
That's not the way it normally works, James. I'm on that.
There was a toss-up. between having a whistle and sucking, because if you sucked too much, it would you'd lose the whistle. So you wanted to still have the whistle, but you wanted to have the lot, and they still taste the same, don't they?
They taste of pure sugar and crack.
So yeah, they were. I used to love them, and as you say, drove parents wild and crazy because you just relentlessly doing that tune. But when you did eat too much of the sweet, the whistle stopped and you were gutted. But yeah, lovely times, and obviously you'd probably be able to buy them from Woolies. I think Our Price and Woolies were the main ones. HMV definitely got started, didn't it, around that time? And I know people have mentioned in previous episodes, but I used to love going down and just, I guess maybe between Thursday and Saturday and Sunday when the music were on Radio 1 and Top of the Pops, going down maybe in your lounge, you'd listen to music on the phone. Just seems a bit of a ridiculous thing, doesn't it? Cricket scores, all that nonsense. But it was just great. And sitting with your own cassette player, playing Radio 1 that you'd recorded and listening to the charts. I don't think kids do that now. I don't think kids listen to the charts now.
Well, I think there was a new thing as well, because rather than buying, your records one by one, I'm going to give you a little bit of a blast from the 80s when a whole new thing came along, and this became a new way of buying music. It started in the early 80s. It is still going now. See if you remember going to the shops and buying one of these.
I mean, now that's what I call music. Right, that's the name of the album, right? And listen, it's 30 of the year's fabulous hits. It's fantastic. Okay, this is what you get out of the 30. You get, listening, right, 11 number ones from Duran Duran, Kajapoopoo, Goo Goo, UB40, Phil Collins, Men at Work, Bonnie Tyler, Rod Stewart, oh yeah, and Culture Club. Great, eh? It's 30 hits on record and cassette. Guess what's coming up next? It's only me and it. Look, there you go, darling. Eyes and teeth, head on shoulder. Is he tasty or what? Now that's what I call music.
Now that's what I call music.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. When was that? 1984 or something like 83?
Let me see.
Something like that.
I might even have it in my notes here.
It's got to be 1983.
It's gonna be there.
I'm thinking that. and the compilation albums were just, I mean, I don't know, they must have knackered the record sales of individual artists.
It's a whole way of getting so many songs, like number ones, for next to nothing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that one with the pig on the front, the iconic Now That's Good Music 3 and number 4 with the shades on and stuff, they were just epic albums that everybody had. I just used to love it.
If anybody's got the number one, that is worth a small fortune now, isn't it?
Hi. You wouldn't guess it, but I've got it. I know. I'm going to shake your mind here and think, has James actually got that? Yes, I have.
Is there anything from the 80s, James, that you haven't actually got?
My hair. Hairline, waistline, credit line, all that stuff, anything. But it just brings back so many memories, and putting on a record and dropping the needle on it, or not dropping, placing the needle on it, and just hearing it for that. We've just got it back from the shops. Got out of your Woolies carrier bag, because you could have infinite carrier bags back then. It didn't matter, did it?
No charge.
No, and they didn't kill turtles in the 80s. So we just put it on there and let that start playing, and it was just wonderful. I mean, we didn't have a decent record player. Ours was part of a sideboard with glasses either side of it and some vases on and stuff, and mahogany or something. Do you remember? Why do we have them made out of wood? Why was everything made out of wood?
With the smoked glass effect on the top as well. It was a plastic. There was always a plastic thing on the record player that all it did was attract dust and static.
It did.
That's all it did. I remember when our neighbours, because we had one of the old radiograms, but our neighbours had one of these lovely fancy music centres, and luckily we could hear it through the walls.
That was lucky.
Next door.
Yes.
Lucky that we could hear it. But it was just a revelation with this smoked, space age plastic top that you would open to.
And some of those new stack systems were all chrome, and they're about 3 foot high, 4 foot high, wood sides again, and a glass door on the front. Yeah, not on wheels though. Why were tellies on wheels and not hi-fis? I don't know. Maybe so we could move the tellies around, I suppose, into another.
Why did we not buy our tellies? Why did we say, I'm going to pay you every week for this telly? It won't be ours, but we just keep paying you week after week.
Rumbelows.
And Radio Rentals.
It was exciting, wasn't it, to go to Radio Rentals to see what the next telly would be. Why has this telly got 6 buttons? We haven't got 6 channels. No, but you might do one day. Don't mental. Loved all that. And it's just recording, playing music with your mates in your room. Now kids are just generally isolated with their headphones on, and I don't think they share it unless they're at a skate park or something with a big boom box playing some sort of Bluetooth.
Anyway.
No, I'm not since the court order. But and I've got these whistles as well. I don't know why. I've got hundreds of these bloody whistles, and can I shift them?
Can't shift them, can you?
No. And I've got a van and everything. It's good times.
Just out of interest, what was your guess to the first Now That's What I Call Music? What year was your guess?
I think it was 83.
Bloody hell, you are just so good.
Was it on 83?
It was the first TV advert released in 1983.
Tell you what.
30 massive chart hits from UB40, Phil Collins, Duran Duran, and more.
Ladies. If you're after a man who's got a load of 80s tat with stupid knowledge about nonsense from your childhood, not your childhood. If I had loads of knowledge on your childhood, stay well clear. But if I've got generic knowledge of stuff that happened during everybody's childhood. Anyway, shall we move on to something else?
Top 10, the entire 1980s.
Yeah.
Dexy's Midnight Runners, Come On Eileen at
Why not?
10.
Yeah.
Jennifer Rush, The Power of Love at 9.
Wow.
George Michael's Careless Whisper.
Of course.
That's a little tiny bit that we had. That was at number 8.
Yeah.
Culture Club, Karma Chameleon.
Wow.
7. Do you remember the first time Boy George appeared on TV? The outrage in the newspapers the next day.
Yeah.
I think one of the headlines was, "What is it?"
Really?
I believe so, unless I'm making that up. But
no.
That was a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't... To be honest... Him and the girl, I think, out of Monkey Magic, they were two sort of generic people that I didn't even know if they were a boy or girl, but it didn't matter to me.
They were so far ahead of their time that they were theys.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, they then. But the press made such a big deal out of it. It's like, I remember as a kid watching, thinking, this is great. Not, who is that? Is it a boy or a girl? It was a generic sort of look.
The papers love to stir a bit,
of course.
a bit of hatred up, which they're still very good at.
They never mentioned Monkey Magic.
No.
And whether that was it the Emperor? I can't remember what her name was. I think it was a princess in the end. And Pixie used to say, I think, princess. But it was the son never got involved with Monkey Magic, only with Culture Club. Why? We never know.
These questions and more still to be asked. Rest of the top 10, by the way, from the entire 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Wham! Last Christmas was at 6. 5, The Human League, Don't You Want Me? 4, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. 2, Tribes. 3, Stevie Wonder, I just called to say I love you. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Frankie Says Relax at number 2. But the most popular song of the entire 80s.
Was it?
Sold more than
I Think You're Alone Now. By Tiffany. I Think You're Alone.
It was a charity song.
No.
It was a charity song.
Oh, hang about. Was it Live Aid?
It came out at Christmas time.
Yes.
Do they know it's
Christmas? Oh, Band-Aid, sorry. Yeah, that was
like
it.
now that is what I call music all in one performance then.
Yeah, that was brilliant. It should have been Tiffany. I used to think about that song all the time. I think I was about 12 when that came out, and I thought, yes, Tiffany, we should be alone now. That would be lovely. And she's still going, singing that song all over the world, bless her.
Cruise ships and everything.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's perfect for the demographic now, isn't it? People, all of us with our Zimmer frames going to the main theatre at the end of the ship. Come on, Tiffany. And ironically, not alone now. There's 3,000 old people watching her on a boat.
Paying good money for that.
Yeah, why not? And why wouldn't you? It's Tiffany. But yeah, good times.
So we were talking about the different adverts and things on the TV, the Now advert, which we gave you, which we played for you earlier on. I'm going to play another advert for you now, which has actually caught this advert, according to the internet, has caused somebody to be suspended from school.
What?
For bringing one of these in for racism.
Right.
I know, this is the world. This is the world.
What, these days?
These days,
oh my
right?
God. Okay.
This is a product that was available in the 80s. I'm going to play you the ad from the 80s for TV.
Yeah.
The item is still available, but the child was suspended from school for bringing this item in because it was racist.
Right.
I think they may well have had a bit of a point.
Way down deep in the middle of the Congo, a hippo took an apricot, a guava, and a mango. He stuck it with the others and he danced a dinky tango. The rhino said, I know, we'll call it Umbango. Umbango, you drink it in the Congo. Python picked the passion from the mammal, said the mandarin, the parrot painted bongos, got the hunk of voodoo landed it. So when it comes to sun and fun and goodness in the jungle, they all prefer the sunny, funny one they call Umbango.
Libby's Umbango. High juice drinks. Free from artificial ingredients.
You got it. It is catchy. Catchy.
For me bitching about people knowing all the lyrics, everybody listening to that was just singing along to the lyrics. Put a apricot, a guava, and a mango. I'm not doing the accent. That was just the way that. So yeah, it was. So what he brought in a bungo?
He brought in a racist lunchbox, and he was suspended for school.
Oh, so it said Umbango on the.
It was a bungo drink that he took into school. And according to the internet, he was suspended for.
I didn't even know you could get it.
You can get it. It's still available at all major supermarkets.
I've looked for it.
You can get it.
Lilt. I know you could get Lilt. We had that at the last one.
Tropical Day.
It was. And we can get Whistle. Why do I keep thinking of Benny Hill every time I do that?
See, Benny Hill was another one of those programmes that back in the 80s was hilarious to watch now.
Yeah.
But he would have been locked up now.
He got away before. Well, I think he was just, I don't know what to make of that, but the music, I certainly remember. And that will always, whenever I hear that music, I'll always start walking a little bit quicker. My wife plays in the kitchen to get me to do housework a bit faster. And then she'll pull her top up. I don't know. No, that's then I stop work altogether.
Every time you hear that music, though, every time you see a sped up video,
yes,
you will, because we're being conditioned.
Yes.
Every time you see something that's been slightly sped up in your head, is that sound.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say is when the ladies get clothes off. Mind you, I think my wife does think that I do speed up when she's got her clothes off. Anyway, it's we're going off topic, but it's Benny Hill, crikey, some things better left in the 80s. But not the music. I mean, it's just these days kids are listening to the music, and I swear that I just think, is that an 80s tune? Is that from the 80s?
So many samples from the 80s. There's so much stuff now that, like that sounds like a or that sounds like Michael Jackson or something that is just crazy from those.
Yeah.
Probably using that very same guitar synthesizer.
The Casio,
the previous episode.
with all that bossa nova and waltz backing music. Bruno Mars.
It can't beat a bit of bossa nova.
No, bless him. Bruno Mars, a lot of the tracks that Bruno Mars has at the minute, I just think are so much like New Edition and Bobby Brown and the Stevie Wonder, all this old stuff. But great, love it. Why not? Bring it on. More the merrier.
Little reminder of this week's mystery sound. I think, James, you might have possibly given it away.
No.
Just a little tiny bit.
Not a jot.
Here's this week's mystery sound. You have to have a lot of patience.
I think that's me trying to start my Fiesta in the late 80s. Sounds a little bit like it. Fiddling with the choke.
Fiestas where you had to flick with a cord.
The amount of times I nearly crashed my car trying to fiddle with the choke, get a cassette in, rewound, and turn the lights on and change gear and fiddle with the choke again, and then, you know what I mean, adjust the wing mirrors. Nothing electrical. Just nearly trash in the car, just purely because you eject the tape, all the tape's still in the tape, the cassettes come out, it drops around your foot. Yeah.
At what point did there stop being a choke on a car?
Probably after that incident. I think it got across all car manufacturers. James is an idiot. But yeah, listening to tapes when you're in the car with your parents. I mean, these days my boys have just got headsets on, they're in the back of this car and we don't know what's going on. But it was quite a social thing, wasn't it? You put some music on and the whole house. Obviously, you had your Walkmans, but not everybody had them all the time. You put a track on, you put music on, and it was in the car, and you were listening to it. It was quite a social thing.
I think there is still a place for that. My boys are in their 20s now.
Right.
When we go,
you're a bit older than me.
Yeah, I'm older than you. When we do like a road trip or whatever, we will have a shared playlist.
Oh, really?
And we will all listen to each other's music.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you're a better dad than me, Andy. Just get this shit off. Who is it? It's Pantheress or what? Who's that? Oh, she's on TikTok. Yeah, of course, not a proper musician.
Everybody that you hear, like on the radio now, is starting their career on TikTok.
You know what, mate?
It's the way forward.
I think we're onto something here. A new duo's coming out. Number one for Christmas. I don't know what we'll call ourselves, but we're certainly something involved with the word twins. The old fart twins. There we go. We've got it. I think we're going to have to think of a tune. I reckon the intro should be and then my wife can be running around in the background in some undies.
I was going to suggest that you take your top off and I had to think of them.
To be honest, I got a crack as tits. So I think I'm offended. So good. Well, that's the Christmas episode sorted. It's our number one music playing. We'll all pop down Woolies. We'll go and get a poster of it in the poster rack of you and me in underwear. I'll be holding a baby for some reason. If you've not watched any previous episodes, by the way, this all sounds very weird.
Go back and watch the episode with the man holding the baby.
Yeah, with his little clock out.
There was another one with his tyres. The man with the tiny clock.
Tiny clock. Yes.
Tiny clock.
And then obviously the lady who just been banned from the tennis club. If you don't know any of these and what's going on, you've missed in previous episodes, and you're missing out. But
Can we just say as well, it's a really good idea if you're listening to the podcast, for goodness sake, subscribe.
Yeah.
And then it would just drop straight into your app or whatever you're listening on next time. So you get a little pop-up to say that it's there.
Anyone out?
Please do subscribe. And if you're watching this on YouTube as well, give us a little cheeky like on YouTube
and share it.
Follow us on YouTube and share it.
Yeah, tell all the other old bastards like us and like you. If you're old and you feel, in your 40s or 50s and you're forgotten about, we're worrying about our parents and our kids. This is for you. Share it. Tell your mates, and let's all have a laugh. If some people said they listened to us whilst running. I don't know if it's a lavatory problem or what it is, but I don't know why people are running when they're middle-aged. Maybe that's my problem more than theirs, and I should be running. But or walking the dog or coming back from the school run, it's a great time. And just listen. Don't watch whilst you're driving back from the school run. I've been asked by the AA to say that little message. But yeah, share it about and like it. And we're going to keep doing these for as long as they'll let us, aren't we?
Just doing a little bit of our own trumpet blowing as well, if you pardon the expression.
Go on, Betty Hill.
I think over 60,000 views on YouTube now.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that can't be right. I think they're hoping that we're going to do the naked one with exotic animals.
Naked and drunk. Yeah. Naked and drunk and
exotic animals. Episode 23 coming to you now on Patreon. Pay only. All right. None of this naughty free stuff. But yeah. So yeah. I mean, I do miss it. I do miss going down Woolworths. I do miss that Saturday morning trip out and the excitement. Because do you know what they used to do? They used to manually note down what albums and records had sold. They'd send it off on some sort of fax device or something, tot it all up, and by Sunday afternoon, they'd worked out nationally who was at number one. I mean, can you imagine that sort of graft going into it now? It's all just digital, totted up by some AI computer nonsense, and they know straight away.
It is, and that was how some records got to the top. Having one of my wives working in a record shop as well, I would know that there would be, for some reason, somebody would come in and buy 20 of the same single. Now, why would you need 20 of the same?
Was that Elton John again? Was it? Popping in.
Other Beyond.
Benny Hill. Yes, I mean, that sort of administration must have taken hundreds of people scribbling all that down and sending it off by 4 o'clock, I think it was, on a Saturday or something. Was a cut-off? I can't remember. I was only 4. But it was just, I mean, you go in and you think, I want that to be number one, and you listen and you get excited with the band who are also tuning in and talking to the DJ at the time and hoping that they were number one. Yeah, brilliant. Loved it, especially when it was Kylie.
They were the best of times.
They were.
And look, we've reached the end of another podcast.
It can't be true.
We've reached the end of number 5.
5.
Who'd have thought?
Nobody.
Who'd have thunk it?
Nobody would have thought it. But we've made it to the classic 5. We said we couldn't get to number 5. We've done it out of spite. And what's the next episode about? Can we remember?
The episode is the water in Majorca.
Oh, is it? Holidays?
It's foreign holidays.
Oh, and anywhere you went. Some people didn't go abroad, Andy, so we have to include them because it's inclusive times. It's the fly again.
Exactly.
Well, this is what happens, you see, when you go abroad. Flies everywhere.
Greasy food.
He's the third member. We're going to have to split the proceeds. So it's Bros all over again. It's you, me, and the fly. Yeah, the other one. But yeah, so some people just didn't go abroad, so we're going to have to include those sorts of holiday trips, I think. And
Butlins.
Of course, just down the beach for half hour. That was me.
Nice bit of camping.
Why not? Jump on a coach, get the train, British Rail. All of that. So yeah, I look forward to that.
Next week, so 2 weeks to go for our next thrilling edition, which, believe it or not, will be number 6.
Crazy.
Until then, James, you're out and about doing all kinds of things all over the place.
Yeah.
Bring back the 80s tour, not too long to go then.
Starts in a couple of weeks, yeah. So grab your tickets from jamesalderson.net and obviously tune into you.
I will be doing my same old stuff that I do on the evening show always for the last quarter of a century.
I'll be right.
I will be there from 8 o'clock till midnight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and bright and early on Sunday mornings, now Sunday breakfast show as well. But until then, we will say thank you for watching and listening and partaking in this Bring Back the 80s podcast.
Thank you.
Until next time, we will see you next Tuesday.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition. We'd love it if you could subscribe in your favourite podcast app. And don't forget, there's a video version on YouTube too. You can contact us using the links in the show notes and on the YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time for another edition of Bring Back the 80s.